hope you have a great.
I almost would recommend to somebody if they're thinking that it's something that they want to get into.
Love what you're doing over at the Moto. Money, motivation, MoneyVation.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, thanks for checking out our podcast, the MoneyVation Club. I hope that intro got you going. You know, I say it every time. If you don't feel like punching the wall, there's something wrong with you after watching that intro. Being a fool. Today's podcast, great subject. I think a lot of people don't know about this, but they need to know about it. And it's not all banks are the same. There's a lot that goes into that, but I want to just keep it in general. Me and Holly came up with this subject. Did you want to touch on anything before we dive into some of the details?
Well, I think it's just important for people to understand. A lot of people, when they go into looking to buy their home, especially their first home, they don't even realize what it means when we say not all banks are the same. They go out to find a loan, and they find somebody who can give them a loan. Sometimes they're even too worried or shy to actually speak to a lender, so they do an online lender, and they don't even see the risks that they may be going into by doing that. And so I think it's really important that we have this discussion and help people understand the dynamics of it all.
No, good point. I think that's a really good starting point. Is people will use robobot lender or something without speaking to an individual.
Right.
And a lot of times us millennials are guilty of this. I say this a lot because we like to be we hate humans. We don't like talking to them. But in this case where you're talking something so important in one of the largest purchases or financial events of your life, you definitely better to talk to a professional who can really understand your situation and from there help you make the best decisions. That's key.
Absolutely. I like to kind of compare an online lender to very much like instead of taking your car to a mechanic, you just text with a mechanic about what might be going on with your car. A mechanic isn't going to really know what's wrong with your car until they dive into that engine and pick it apart and figure it out. And it's kind of the same way when you're looking at a loan. Everyone's finances, everyone's job history, everyone's credit, all of it is going to be complex and individualized. So you really need a lender to dive into that and really find the best scenario for you when it comes to a loan.
No, I'm glad you said that. I hate to toot my own horn, but I'm going to toot it.
Toot toot.
So many times I've had clients who, were rejected or elsewhere or didn't.
All the time. And
it happens. Even I'll be honest, and even rare, but even sometimes I haven't been able to help an individual. It was, outside of my reach, but I knew of, XYZ bank that was able to help them. You know what I mean? So. But all in general, a good customer service will at the very least be frank with you and be upfront with you in learning it. And just like Holly said, sometimes, if you were rejected somewhere, that's not end all be all. It's talk to other banks. Some big news to a lot of people is major banks have a lot of the times, overlays. That's industry terms for their own rules above the norm, which might be lower income ratio, meaning they're going to use a lower DTI, as far as work history, credit score, all that, So there's just a lot that goes involved other than just, you think you got good credit and you're good to go. A lot of times those clients can qualify for more. Have you run into any issues, Holly, where you've almost lost a deal or?
Of course.
Sure.
So another thing that I like to point out to potential buyers that I've worked with is when you use a lender who was an online lender, or even sometimes a big bank lender where, like you were saying, they have all those overlays. They're not going to necessarily work as hard for you to help you get your offer accepted and also to get you through that contract. So really, getting pre-approved and shopping for a home, that is the tip of the iceberg. What you really want is to find individuals that are going to work for you once you get into contract, once you're trying to get an offer accepted. Those are where you need people to go bat for you. Your realtor should always do it for you, but most people don't realize your lender needs to do it for you as well. So when you're working with a lender that might be online and not really a person even, maybe just like a robot, they're trying to just fit you into this box. If you don't fit into this box, they don't care. They move you along and they go on to the next. But when you work with a lender that is actually working as well and not going to get paid unless they close this transaction, they're going to work a lot harder for you as well. So they're going to go to bat for you. They're going to find ways for you to either fit those parameters that they need you to fit into, or they'll even find someplace else for you to go that'll get that done for you, like you said with your clients. So
excellent point. And not to knock on any big bank loan officers out there. I have friends that do it now, but knowledgeable, overall, just knowledge and experience. Sometimes it's night and day. I can tell you, I'm not going to drop any of my clients' names out there because I love you all and I know you're watching this. But a lot of my clients can attest, where XYZ bank said you cannot, because this XYZ bank can say, and it was just the loan individual who was handling the situation didn't have the knowledge or experience to able to complete the loan. Whereas I could just throw so many scenarios out there and examples, but just know that hey, it's really not all. Once again, not all banks are the same. Anything else you wanted to add to that, or anything?
That I learned not too long ago that was very eye-opening to me is one thing that a lot of people worry about when they shop a lender is that their credit is going to be run. And of course, if you're going to run my credit, I then don't want 15 other lenders to run my credit and get 15 dings on my credit. That's counterproductive to the effort of buying a home. But what somebody shared with me was, if you get a home loan, if you're shopping for a home loan, it's very similar to shopping for a car loan. So that first 30 days that you start running your credit, looking for a home loan, you only get dinged once on your credit. So you don't have to worry about the consistent credit dings.
Oh yeah, well let me interject there. I think it's a better way of stating it is, if you've only gone to one big box bank, absolutely shop around. I myself as a broker have access to most brokers have access to most major banks' lending tools and formats. So I already know what this bank requires. I already know what this bank requires. So it's easy for me to give you 10 different options typically. But absolutely, if you just went to one bank and you're qualified for an amount and it's not where you wanted to be, or for any given reason, absolutely. But in general, it's always good to make your banks compete. I am a lender. It's kind of I would say you definitely want to talk to at least of all the people you talk to, a broker as well as a big box banks, because then you can really dive in. But I just shooting from the hip and being up front with you, there's usually a lot more stuff we have an option. As far as the credit pool, I'm glad Holly said that. 30 days is unlimited credit checks, mortgage-related inquiries. So if you check your credit once, it's not going to hurt to check it 100 more times. But that's probably the time within the window where you want to talk to more banks like ourselves. We've got a really good reputation at Elite Loan Advisors, my company. But hey, I encourage any questions you have. If you're being shot down somewhere, of course, give us a buzz.
Absolutely. And you can always refer to a realtor as well to help put you in contact with a good lender. Realtors work directly with lenders, so they know the ones that have the good reputations for finding great rates and great deals, and then also having great work ethics. You need to look at the work ethic of your lender, because when it comes to getting into contract and then getting through that contract, you need someone to go up to bat for you.
Cool. No, I think I hope we got the point across.
I think we did.
Not all banks are the same. And if you're having issues, if you've been rejected, or you're barely getting by, or you're not getting qualified for the amount you want, check us out. Give us a buzz. But just in general, just know that hey, doesn't have to be us. Better way of putting it. You can be probably. I got people watching this in Minnesota. To talk to if you got issues. Hey, I don't mind giving advice, so free advice as well. You can always prompt into this. We got the box in the bottom, and ask any questions you like. But yeah, cool.
Good.
Thank you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like us, follow us, and all that great stuff. And check out our next podcast. Hope this was informational for you. Don't hesitate to ask any questions.
Thanks for watching.